Do you want to play DC Dark Legion but you're not sure where to start? If so, this video is made specifically with you in mind. It's been several months since the game launched globally, and since then we've seen the introduction of several new game modes, especially a lot of PvP game modes. We've seen the introduction of a ton of new champions, and we've even seen a pretty robust overhaul to the ship system with the Apocalypse. But overall, the gameplay loop remains the same. So DC Dark Legion is sort of a different take on the hero collector genre. It does have that traditional hero collector feel to it, that kind of gacha game feel to it. It also has this hybrid base builder system, and it is very much a strategy game at its core. So you're going to see a lot of PvP game modes, but the developers know our feelings on having a little bit too much PvP in the game, and they've definitely worked really hard to try to give us some solid PvE game modes. And I think the great thing about this game is that there really is a little something for everyone. So the basic gameplay loop for this game is as follows. You're going to need a lot of source energy gems. Those source energy gems are kind of the base currency for this game. You're going to take those source energy gems and you'll be converting those into world anvil fragments and mother box keys through several of the shops in the game. You're going to take those world anvil fragments and those mother box keys, and you're going to obtain shards of champions. Those champions are going to need to be upgraded, and we're going to use a number of resources to upgrade those champions. We'll also use those resources to upgrade our base and our vehicles, and in doing so, we're going to be competing in what's called the Supreme Commander event. Supreme Commander is a hoarding event. It lasts pretty much all week, and now they've just introduced some changes to how Supreme Commander works, and we'll be doing some pretty serious competition with other leagues and other servers. But that Supreme Commander event is going to get you placement each week, and it's going to give you certain key items for the game, and the biggest of those are going to be magic eyes and additional source energy gems. And so you can see this cycle kind of completes itself. You get those source energy gems from the Supreme Commander event, and there are some other weekly events and daily events where you'll be obtaining them as well, but for the most part, a lot of that is going to come from the Supreme Commander event, and then you'll be using those gems in the next week to obtain more world anvil fragments and mother box keys so that you can get more champions and so on and so forth. Now, the key to this game is to be stingy with your gems. You're only going to get a very small amount of them in the grand scheme each week, and you'll want to make sure that you have a nest egg of those gems built up so that you can buy some key packs. And I have those listed on screen now. Number one, you want to make sure that you have approximately 2,900 source energy gems for Interstellar Visitor, which comes every weekend. You're going to get 100 gems for free from the event, and then that will give you the 3,000 gems that you need to purchase the 500 and 2,500 gem packs for world anvil fragments, which is going to give you a good nest egg of anvils to pull for bleed champions as you go through the week. And then you'll also, if you have the additional gems, if you have 300 extra gems, you can purchase a mother box key gem pack from Interstellar Visitor. And then there are going to be a couple of key items in the mystery store, which is like the main store that you'll be using, where you'll want to make sure that you purchase these on cooldown if you have the gems available for it. And that's going to be the 60 gem pack in the mystery store. Sometimes the same discount rate will be applied to a 180 gem 3 world anvil pack, and you can purchase that one as well. Or if you do have additional gem income, so if you're free to play, you probably shouldn't do this. If you are a light spender or a whales this really doesn't apply to, but if you're a light spender, you can get away with purchasing the 333% mystery store packs for mother box keys. But again, I just want to reiterate that you really want to be stingy with gems. I realize that there are a massive amount of things that you can purchase in the store, but you have to be really careful to make sure that you hone in on the items that are the most important, that are the most efficient, and only buy those. Otherwise, you'll find yourself in a position where you have no gems to spend on anything. And then the last thing that I want to talk to you about is just in general powering up your champions. There's 5 ways that you're going to be powering them up, and I mentioned that you're going to be doing a lot of this through the Supreme Commander event, but you're going to level them up. You're going to add legacy pieces to the champions. You're going to be adding gear to the champions and transmuting that gear to try to get additional effect. You're going to be obtaining those shards through the mother box and also through the bleed event, and those are going to give you additional stars on your champion, and then you're also going to be upgrading their force talents. It's really important to pick a small amount of champions and focus your account around that core group to make sure that you're not putting way too many resources into a wider group of champions, because if you do that, it's definitely going to slow your account down. But really important to make sure that you're powering up key champions, and you can take a look at my tier list to see how to do that or see which ones to focus on. I've hit the high points, but there are so many things for you to explore and do in this game, and I highly recommend that you play it. If you like the DC IP, and in particular, if you've ever heard of the Batman Who Laughs storyline within the Dark Metal comics, you're really going to enjoy the storytelling that they're doing in this game, and the strategic elements from the PvP standpoint are starting to get really fun in the game the more game modes that they introduce. You can see all these iconic champions in my hero collection here. We have a pretty robust league system where you can join a league and participate with up to 100 of your closest friends. We have a pretty fun world map where you can infiltrate trains and you can do various different events on the world map screen. They're adding new ways to use the world map on a regular basis. We got different storylines that are going to be coming to the game that are really fun. And of course, we have the SON network here, where there are several PvE and PvP associated events that you can participate in. My personal favorite is Combat Cycle. I have a lot of fun with that one. You have 7 bosses for the 7 days of the week, and each of those bosses presents a unique opportunity to use your champions in a variety of different ways. If this is a game that you're interested in playing, I highly recommend that you also go ahead and join the official Discord server. You can also join my Discord server. There will be links to both in the description of this video. We have a very amazing and helpful community. You can see my full back catalog of videos, and most of those are going to be relevant for the game as it stands today. I try to make sure that I clarify in later videos what has changed. I'm really excited about the future of DC Dark Legion. I really enjoy trying to put out helpful content for the community, and I hope to see you in the future.